top 5 rugby personalities or personalities in rugby at the moment. This is current players and or coaches that are, regardless of the situation, on or off the field, post-match, pre-match, interviews, podcasts, brand deals, whatever it is, they are truly out and out themselves. Like I said, no matter where they are, who they're speaking to, what brand deals they're dealing with, on Instagram, not on Instagram, podcasts, interviews, they're themselves no matter what. Linking up with most famous sports stars or people around the world. People or players or coaches that attract and draw eyeballs to the game of rugby. Here's my top 5. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 5, Mr. Joe Marler. 327,000 followers on Instagram. Not one to shy away from being himself in any situation. Calls a spade a spade. If in a post-match interview, did the Quins play good? Did England play? We played shite, mate. Today we played shite. We got to be better. Oh, shit. Shit? Did they say shite? Shit. Calls a spade a spade. Love it. It's not back to the drawing board. Although back to the drawing board is a funny comment every now and then. But not Joe Marler's style. The Alan Wynne-Jones moment. I'm not saying grab someone by the nuts. It's a funny thing to do. Guys do it on the playground when in school. It's a thing. Guys do it. He got pizzled in the media for that. Obviously, context is a big thing. It's a brawl happening on a field in a Six Nations game, I think it was. And he's tugged on Alan Wynne-Jones's nether regions. The spraying of the water at James Haskell I think it was a Quins Wasps game. Hilarious. Something Joe Marler would do. He's obviously got his podcast, Things People Do, formerly known as the Joe Marler Show. Has different perspectives on that. Isn't scared to say what he thinks. He's a dad, so it kind of normalizes that side of things. Got the mohawk. I think he's gone bald now. Tattooed up. And like I said, he says what he feels in any situation. Love him for that. And again, obviously a gun rugby player. Coming in at number 4, Mr. Aotearoa himself, Ari Savia. 433,000 Instagram followers. A Rock Nation athlete. Ari Savia clothing, which is kind of forged now with YKTR clothing. He had the Ari Savia podcast. I don't know if he's that active anymore on that. But just these players kind of dabbling in things that they love outside of rugby, using his platform to do that, to promote it. When he is on a podcast, he's very vulnerable and open. Rugby's always been kind of shielded by this. You have to be tough and strong kind of armor. I think one of the first players to have a dedicated content creator around him, Ari Savia. How sick is that? Sia, I think it's Saya Visuals has flown out to Japan to cover, for the next 6 months, to kind of cover Ari Savia. And I think Nani Laumape's journey that side, that might have been a joint deal, or Rock Nation being like, you need more content. How can we make this happen? It's cool, man. We want the access. You want quality access too. It's cool. Obviously, as much as what the player is willing to put out, I get that they have their own personal lives and stuff. But man, Artie's put, and off the back of quality rugby, quality player. He's firstly a really good at what he does, and then secondly, everything around that. I think it's just players using the amount of time they get on TV in front of massive audiences. Obviously, that is to do what they're really good at. But you market yourself off the back of that. Artie's one of the best players in the world. And he's got all these other things attached to it, whether it is clothing, he does lots of link-ups in the community where they come and they go for walks together in a jog, just getting to know his local community. Like that didn't happen back in the day. Then the incident he had with the Hurricanes against Melbourne Rebels, the slit throat thing, that's him being himself. That's eyeballs coming on rugby. If you're sitting on your high horse saying that that's putting rugby in a bad spotlight, kids are doing that from 5 years old, 6 years old. We do that. People do that. And I think even more so in New Zealand because of the haka. It's not putting rugby in a bad spotlight. People need to get off their high horse. The quicker that can happen, the better for rugby as a whole, I think. But what do I know? Moving on. Coming in at number 3, Mr. Damien Willemse Gaza. Damien Willemse, 286,000 Instagram followers. This is honestly 99% off the back of his celebration tour after winning his second World Cup. That was fun. If you didn't have fun following along on his Instagram, on his socials, who are you? Who are you? Man, he's 26 years old, won his second Rugby World Cup, and he's gone on the tour just in his playing kit still for 5-6 days. Yes, he said he showered and wore different clothes to sleep and then put it back on. Still, man, it was fun to watch. And then at the back of that, plugged Dove, Men Care, like body lotion, deodorant, a sponsor. Smart, hell, genius. That's what, this is it. Guys using their platform to make a bit of cash. What else? To make a bit of more cash. That's sort of it, man. You've got this platform for, if you're lucky, 10 years. If you're really lucky, 10 years. And then that's it. Then you have to do something else. Like, you don't play rugby until you retire at 60 years old. Utilize the platform, and these guys, the younger guys, are doing it really, really well. He's an Adidas athlete as well, Red Bull athlete recently. I think he would have drunk enough Red Bulls on that celebration tour. And like it can play rugby. I said all of these players and or coaches can play rugby or are good at coaching. The personality king, Mr. Damien Willemse, coming in at number 2. And my only coach for this segment, Mr. Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones. No Instagram, but I reckon about 250,000 followers. That's after about 1 million Aussie followers unfollowed him. Literally does whatever he wants. Can look at you in a press conference, say one thing, but mean something totally different.
Keep going.
What did you see the difference?
Nothing, mate. We're terrible. You know we're terrible. Just tell us we're terrible. And we'll prove you wrong. I can feel this negativity coming out. I can't. I've got to wash myself off, boys. I've got to wash myself off.
And we love him for it. He's a great coach. He's been there and done it. Now he's just kind of almost just finding the second half of his career a bit. Love Eddie Jones. Think about if we didn't have Eddie Jones this past World Cup. Imagine he was just with Japan and they did all right and that was it. But he was with Australia saying all these crazy wild shit at interviews, not picking players that kind of everyone thought he needed to pick. It didn't come off for him. Then the whole Japan debacle, did he interview with him before? Did he not? Now he has signed at Japan. Everyone spoke about him in the World Cup. That's eyeballs on the game. This is what the top personalities are about. If you don't agree that Eddie Jones is one of the top personalities in rugby at the moment, we can't be friends. Eddie's the man. He's the man. It'll be interesting to see what he does with Japan, but he comes in at my second most or biggest personality in rugby at the moment. The second MVP of rugby at the moment. And coming in at number 1. If you're going to give you a second to guess, you probably guessed it right. Mr. Siya Kolisi. Ooh, the big Siya Kolisi. 1.1 million followers on Instagram. That's the only active rugby player with over 1 million followers on Instagram. Let me go quickly to other sports, okay? Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli is of India cricket fame. Virat Kohli, 265 million followers, okay? Lionel Messi, obviously everyone knows him, the GOAT, 497 million followers. Like, it makes, that's crazy. Yes, I'm not comparing rugby with these worldwide sports. Rugby is a worldwide sport, but we need to celebrate these guys. That more like, I wonder how many of those followers that Sia has don't know anything about rugby, but follow him because of link-ups he's done. Recently, he was just chilling with David Beckham at an NBA game in Paris. What? Went on a tour on the NBA, met up with that many different players. I don't know the players' names. I know he was at the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, for one of the games. Went into Miami. Did he meet Lionel Messi? I don't know. He was holding up his jersey. That is famously David Beckham's part owner of that club. The work he does outside of rugby, yes, it's opportunities he's got because he's good at rugby and because he's led South Africa to 2 World Cup wins. But this brings eyeballs on to the game. He is, as well, no matter where he's playing, he's himself the whole time. There's recent video come out of him in the tunnel running out playing for Racing Metro, where he's at now. He's still singing his Isikloza song. I think it's called Guijo. I hope I've said that right. My source is Reddit on that, so I don't know how true that is. And, like, that's what you want. Guy just being himself no matter where he is. He's in France singing a Isikloza song. People in French don't even know that that's a language. Or in France, don't know that that's a language. He's out there singing that. He's an Adidas athlete, Rock Nation athlete, co-founder of Kolisi Foundation, helping less privileged kids in Africa just to get a better future. And it's someone who's lived and breathed that. Siya Kolisi, he's come from nothing. These kids can see that, wow, he's come from where I am now, and now he's playing rugby in France. He's met all these people. He's won 2 Rugby World Cups. Crazy. Love it. He is my number 1 rugby personality at the moment. Future South African president. You heard it here first, if he goes down that route. That's it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think. That's my top 5. There's so many more. There's a lot more to pick from. I don't know. Let me know. And I'll see you next time. Bye.